want to jump to my next topic, and that is altcoins. All right, so let's talk about kind of where altcoins have moved with Bitcoin. You know, the situation was pretty straightforward. Bitcoin kind of became the alpha male in this crash or in this correction, and everybody was pinning or pegging off of the Bitcoin price. Altcoins came tumbling down. We saw, you know, Cardano came down to around $1.06, I think was its low, which was a great buying opportunity for me. Full disclosure, I'm an owner of Cardano. But when you look at the altcoin structure and where it's going, and then the movement that we've seen in terms of market implications, the Elon Musk effect on, you know, carbon footprinting and all those kind of things, where do you see the future of the altcoin universe going in the future?
I see altcoins as the portal to DeFi, which means decentralized finance. And I think DeFi, we're going to just drop the D. In other words, I think the value of the DeFi space is going to be so big that decentralized finance is going to transition to finance on the blockchain, right? All of this legacy money, in order to get a positive real return, is coming to DeFi.
Yeah.
And I think part of what happened underneath the hood of this avalanche was that the DeFi tokens, okay, the altcoins that got, you know, 70, 60% declines, that was vacuumed up by big money.
Right, right. Which is, yeah, that goes back to the same scenario. So you're essentially saying that it's stride for stride mapping against, you know, the 800-pound King Kong over here with Bitcoin. And as we start to see Bitcoin, as it's the price indicator leader, start to make its move, we're going to see these altcoins kind of follow along in unison. With that being the case, then you have to kind of utilize a tool like, you know, token metrics to kind of understand where are the winners and losers here in this space. Because there's going to be some that have not moved. XRP is a good example where it has been lagging in terms of, even though recently in the last 24 hours, it's taken a fairly nice jump and we predicted where that was going. But with someone or a coin like an XRP versus where Cardano was on Sunday, and then now here we are on Tuesday and it's up to around $1.50, those are some pretty big gains if anybody was acquiring Cardano in that kind of scenario. You guys had a good rating on Cardano in the 30-day on Monday morning. So when you look at that and you see the coins that are performing and underperforming, do you say that maybe you should be looking for the gems as opposed to those top flyers? I'm kind of curious, when you think about reading, you know, token metrics from a person that's a brand new user, what do you guys kind of give in terms of recommendations?
Okay, so for the bigger coins, we like to tell people to either look at portfolios or do exactly what you did, which is to watch how the top market cap coins ebb and flow. Okay, we've got 6,000 coins in the database now, so using that price prediction tool can be great for looking for the hidden gems.
Right.
Right. Now, in terms of a market like this, you know, this is when I think, not investment advice, but, you know, you go shopping for altcoins that have, like, you know, there's 700 on market cap chart. You know,
Gotcha.
I don't own it, but I track a coin called Siren because it's in derivatives and options, and I'm interested in the future of Wall Street on the blockchain. So now is the time, just like you mentioned with Cardano, that now is the time to do value investing, to shop for other, you know, to shop for altcoins when the market is essentially wrecked. And this goes from big coins to Aave, which I think could be like the Goldman Sachs of crypto, okay, all the way down to, you know, the really small stuff and mid-cap stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's the key is, you know, we follow the guys over at Altcoin Daily. They do a great job in kind of breaking down some of these scenarios. And I've been very intrigued. We continue to get so fascinated with the altcoin market, just mainly because of the breadth of the projects that are coming out. They're just absolutely amazing. When I dove into ICP, also Avalanche, I was really surprised at just how far these projects were and really what their big ideas we're doing in terms of effectiveness. And I think that's going to be a big play in terms of being able to invest in something like an altcoin like you're mentioning. Is there any particular category that you see around altcoins, especially with ETH and ETH2 being developed, and you got Cardano and Alonzo coming out this summer, a lot of projects that are kind of coming to a head. Are there ones that you guys are watching that you're really putting a lot of analysis into to understand maybe where the next 12 months is going for those projects? Anything you can mention?
Sure. We're looking a lot at ETH. Obviously, we continue to believe that ETH is so misunderstood and underappreciated, both for like the future of finance and for things like decentralized content, where we're looking at a coin called Audio, or Audius rather.
Audius,
Sort of like, Spotify on blockchain maybe. Okay, and we continue to look at cash flow positive DeFi tokens, right?
Interesting.
Tokens like I own something called PERP, okay, where it's an exchange that runs not on ETH. It runs on a different blockchain and it trades derivatives, and it passes the fees from trading to people who stake the coin. So tokenomics, which is something that our human analysts take into account, matters. Like, can you stake this coin and get paid? Can you get a dividend? Can you get compensated for the price risk? Now, I recently got hurt. I can be transparent and honest because it's crypto, and I think you have to be. I got hurt in a coin called Alpha that was kind of like a DeFi Disneyland that was going to do the same thing. The more you staked, the more features you could unlock. The more people used it, the more you got paid. Okay. We're also looking at, what I call DeFi highways. My CEO is big on Polygon Matic. He was in it when it was less than a penny. Solana, okay, Cardano and ETH, particularly Solana. Okay. Everyone loves Solana at 60, and for some reason, everyone started hating it at 25. I don't understand that. Solana has made aggressive acquisitions, like actual M&A, buying intellectual property, and DeFi is running on Solana, just like AVAX.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing that got me so interested in Avalanche, when really understanding what that team was after and where that CEO had come from, and kind of the vision. Because when you look at the projects, a lot of times I just look at the team kind of around them and then what the vision is, and is there a real potential need for that particular solution that they're trying to put together. And in many cases, you can kind of flush out the ones that are a little bit on the sketchy side. I learned about Audius. I was very intrigued with this because there has been some movement. We had one of the founders of the podcast index on, Adam Curry, and he was talking about, and they've already implemented an application to where they're utilizing Satoshis to essentially pay podcasters based on stream time. And I thought, well, this is exactly where Audius could be going with this particular infrastructure, that maybe someone like an Apple or a Spotify could pick up and somehow integrate down the future to be able to pay content creators, even maybe a YouTube, for going in that direction.
Right.
When you look at where Audius is going, do you guys see kind of that direction for where they're going?
Yes. In other words, we think there's going to be DeFi and more than one DeFi highway. And we think there's going to be more than one highway for what we call decentralized content, right? In other words, how can users, pay more with Audius tokens to get, better features? And how can artists, make money off their music, create their own coins, okay, without Silicon Valley in the middle, right? Yeah. In other words, that model.
That's going to be a big deal.
Right. It's going to be a big deal. And things like, when iTunes first launched, Apple was worth $8 billion back in 2003. Spotify, before all the venture capital money came in, was worth about $8 billion. Audius is worth a lot less than $8 billion. So if they ever signed a big artist, or, Madonna ever came on board, we interviewed the founder of Audius for Token Metrics TV. This is a new feature we have. So yes, Audius is very promising. It started at $0, it went to $5, and like I joke, they loved it at $5, but nobody wanted it at $1.25 2 days ago.
Interesting stuff.
What's changed other than price? The story is there, not investment advice.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. All right, so let's talk about the meme coins for a second, because this is something that you kind of mentioned it earlier, is that meme coins kind of, in some cases, are the gateway drug to crypto for some people that are just entering. And it's a good first step, maybe, it's, because it's really more, playing with paper money. But, these meme coins, especially Dogecoin, have started to really kind of gain some traction here in potentially real projects. Obviously, the Shiba Inus of the world, we've seen those kind of implement in. What are your thoughts on meme coins, and can they hold into the future?
Okay, so hindsight's 2020, right? So we kind of knew that the meme coins were a sign of excess in the market.
Right.
We didn't take it seriously because we know people have to get into crypto somehow. It's not exactly easy to understand. So if they think the meme's cute and they jump in, great. But they became kind of like a monster, right? Because when the music stops, you find out, oh, gee, this is not a Cardano. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So meme coins as a way for people to get involved is great, but I'm not sure that meme coins could be the distraction away from DeFi. Now, on the positive side, back when equities bottomed in 2009, I had this theme that the trash always rallies first. The stuff that the guys in the industry go, oh my God, what is that? I can't touch that. Ugh, those people are stupid. Meanwhile, they're all becoming millionaires. This can frequently happen because no one wanted to touch commercial real estate in 2008, and pre-pandemic, 10 years later in 2019, like where was San Francisco real estate or Silicon Valley for anybody who's out there, right? No one would touch it. 10 years later, it was something. So it's typical for, the trash to rally first. So everyone's cheering for these things to go to zero. I think Musk brought it up because he wants Bitcoin to run on batteries. So that was all kind of a big, Twitter, Asperger's, folly on Twitter. But at the end of the day, you want to be with token metrics. You want to stay with people like you because you want to focus on quality. Because while everyone's talking Dogecoin, the future of finance, Aave, Sushi, right? Uniswap.
Being built. Yeah, it's truly being built, that's for sure. All right, so you mentioned Elon. We can't have a conversation on crypto without talking about Mr. Musk.
Right.
And kind of just recently here, just the last 24 hours, Elon and Michael Saylor kind of got together and said, hey, wait a minute, we're going to try to put together a consortium of sort for Bitcoin miners to help try to reduce the carbon footprint. We've had the guys over at Algorand on, and a lot of the carbon neutral companies that are in Europe that are trying to move this mission forward in the European Union. Do you find the projects, especially these layer 2 projects around the ETH, orbit, moving more and more into a focus on these carbon neutral or carbon negative approaches in terms of proof of stake?
Sure. I think proof of stake as a carbon neutral and as just possibly a more efficient, scalable way of doing things. ETH's moving there. Solana, I believe, is there, and AVAX. So, that makes sense. But you also have to remember that proof of work and all that computational research, computational computer work, computer science that goes into that proof of work helps make Bitcoin scarce and precious. Now, I'm not a computer scientist, but I'm not sure why everybody's all upset about carbon emissions when China last year opened more coal power plants than all the other countries combined, right? As far as like the Bitcoin summit, I sort of tweeted, is Michael Saylor the chairman of the Bitcoin Fed and Elon Musk the crazy tweeting Bitcoin president? Right? No, we're Ethereum guys. So, I have both stuck up for Bitcoin, but I couldn't really resist making fun of that because, guys, we're a centralized entity. We're a decentralized industry. If the market doesn't want proof of work anymore, then proof of work will go to zero and something else will rise up. So I don't think proof of work is bad. I don't think it's dead. Yes, it'd be great if it all ran on batteries, but can we let the market get there and not have the Twitter bullies? Like eventually, I think that's what is going to happen. The decentralized world is going to go, oh, wait a minute. Wait. We've done this before. We're not doing this. We're not.
Well, yeah, and I think you get this as it rolls over into so many other industries that I think it's kind of like the Me Too movement or other movements like that, the cancel culture, all those kinds of things. Then you get the scenarios where people start targeting what is has been known as a market that's been thriving for years and years that is also contributing to the climate issues in a much bigger way. It kind of, in many cases, it just shows lights on these kind of scenarios, which I think a lot of people need and want to have something to say about cryptocurrency. And that's the thing that I have been so just a little bit confused on, is why there is such a pushback on cryptocurrency at this juncture. Because is it because the juncture that cryptocurrency is in now has stabilized? It's a real thing, it's not going away, and it now has a potential threat on the true fiat system? Is that your opinion? Or do you think that it's just that there are certain people that are trying to kind of guard their own gardens?
Okay, well, that's a good question. I mean, I think if you're a tech executive and you're not talking about crypto, your PR person is walking in and telling you that if you don't get on Twitter and say something about crypto, that you're not relevant. Right? Like battery-powered cars and rockets are awesome and visionary, but it doesn't make you relevant on Twitter. Yeah. So I think you've got to be talking about crypto. In terms of this whole Wall Street comes to the blockchain, I'm sure that's scary for them, and I'm sure they didn't mind hammering the market, particularly those coins. But at the end of the day, they're going to need to build a bridge over into DeFi, right? And I'm sure that's both scary. Like when Jamie Dimon said negative things about Bitcoin way back, my reaction was, well, he's a human being and he's just scared for his business. So he just Bitcoin makes people free. It makes little people free, and it gives big people pause. So when a whole bunch of negative news headlines hit the tape all at once, I go, that's a little suspicious. Is someone looking to buy? Is someone scared? Do they want to push it down? All these things are in play, but it's okay though, because you know what? At the end of the day, crypto is a free market. And this crash shows that the market went down and we're still here, like Morpheus from that one Matrix movie.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and I would agree with you. I think the market has kind of proven itself. It's proven a pretty salty position here with more than a 50% correction. If you did that in the stock market, I can't even imagine what would be happening in Wall Street today. In cryptocurrency, it feels like it's just last week.
Right. Well, I mean, equities. A lot of people in equities have been lobotomized because the Fed is underneath it. The Fed can't let equities go down more than 5 or 10%, or it creates an immediate recession in people's minds. In crypto, I know a lot of guys my age and older. I was talking to a floor trader from '87. All those guys are into crypto because the free market, which used to exist pre-2008, is back. So it's not just new money. It's this concept of a free market. And I think that's what's bringing in people. They're going, ooh, here we go. Something that's not controlled by the man.
Yeah, and the volatility plays to it, the ability to understand it. There's enough tools on the deck right now that you can start to utilize it. It's in the ripe phase, I think, for an explosion in wealth opportunities for sure. That's why we cover it here on the show. Bill Noble, Chief Market Analyst over at Token Metrics. Man, it's been great having you on the show so much. Thanks for stopping in.
Sir, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Excellent. All right, so you guys are tuning in over on the podcast. Make sure and subscribe. Give us a couple of star ratings if you like it, and give us a comment over there. You can also give a rating and a review there on the podcast, whether it's on Spotify or iTunes, or maybe you're catching it even over on Amazon Podcast now, which we're on. You can also catch us right here on YouTube, and this is the best place and the best way that you can help support TechPath and the network, and that is to subscribe, share the video, make sure and hit the bell. And of course, if you have an idea for a show, you can send it to us to producer@revernetworks.com or hit me up on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.